Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sixties Science Code Word Technology. My name is Elise Davis, and I am the Education Program Specialist here at the 6th Museum at Dealey Plaza. Today, we are going to discuss advancements in technology throughout the Cold War and take some time to focus on invisible ink and the importance of U-2 spy planes. The Cold War was a political dispute, primarily between the United States and the Soviet Union from 1945 to about 1991. But in 1953, President Eisenhower authorized U-2 spy planes to fly above Soviet Union airspace. And this was to gain intel about their military facilities, because the Soviet Union was a communist rival of the United States. Now, communist mission is to have a public ownership or community ownership of pretty much everything. So there's very little individual or personal rights when it comes to property or other resources. But the significance of allowing those U-2 spy planes to fly over that Soviet airspace was that these planes were designed to be high altitude jets to gather intelligence as well as surveillance of anything below. Now, unfortunately, an American pilot by the name of Francis Powers actually was shot down and captured from his U-2 spy plane and convicted and sentenced to 10 years in a Soviet prison. But the United States actually, less than 2 years later, found a Soviet Union spy, and the two countries decided to do a spy swap. Now, President John F. Kennedy, in his 1960s campaign, declared that he would continue to fight communism, the Soviet Unions, and during this Cold War that started years before he ever got into office. He also declared that even if America needed to begin nuclear testing again, that is something that we were willing to do. And in 1962, the United States, as well as the Soviet Union, began or restarted nuclear testing. And the Cuban Missile Crisis was not far away. So, once again, the United States utilized those U-2 spy planes to do surveillance over the Soviet Union and their stockpile of missiles in Cuba. So once these U-2 spy planes took these surveillance photos and they got back to the United States, President John F. Kennedy created a blockade around Cuba. Now, he would not let any Soviets into Cuba unless they agreed to get rid of the missiles. So the Cuban Missile Crisis lasted from October 16th, 1962 to October 28th, 1962. And there were several days of negotiation. And ultimately, the leader of the Soviet Union, Nikita Khrushchev, agreed to get rid of the missiles if the United States would agree not to invade Cuba. So the two nations agreed, and this kept nuclear war from happening. But there was still animosity between the United States and the Soviet Union during this time. So as you can see, there had between spies and communication and surveillance, these are all things that happened commonly throughout the Cold War. And we were always looking for ways to gather intelligence as well as communicate with each other as well as our allies. So the use of invisible ink was very commonly used as well. Now, traditionally, invisible ink was very difficult to use, okay? So They had to treat the paper and write the paper and retreat the paper. But throughout the 1950s and 1960s, there were improvements in technology and improvements in this process. So they were able to have a chemically treated paper where once the writing was on there, it was actually undetectable to the naked eye. So even today, our law enforcement and our military, they are always looking for improvements and different technology to utilize in an effort to keep us safe. Just like the use of those U-2 spy planes, motorized drones are very useful in acquiring surveillance and acquiring intelligence with advanced technology and photography and videos, and they can even be controlled remotely. So you don't actually have to put individuals in harm's way. So now let's take the time to let you create your own invisible ink and your own model paper airplanes. Let's go. Now we are going to make our own invisible ink. So what you will need 1 sheet of white paper. You will need dark juice. I personally have pure blueberry juice, but you can use cranberry concentrate, anything that's very dark in color. You'll need baking soda, and you'll need water. You'll also need at least 3 small cups. Now, I am using 2 small paint brushes for my writing utensils, but you can use Q-tips. You can use your finger if you want to, but I'm choosing to use small paint brushes, okay? So first, you'll want to get about a tablespoon, maybe 2, of water. And this just depends on how much you want to write, okay? So a tablespoon or 2 of water, a tablespoon or 2 of baking soda, and a tablespoon of 2 of blueberry juice or cranberry concentrate or whatever dark juice you have available to you. And to make your invisible ink, you're going to mix the water and the baking soda together. You're going to mix it together. And then you are going to take your sheet of paper and you're going to write your invisible message. Now, you want to make sure that you kind of drain your writing utensil. You don't want a lot of liquid on there. Okay? You just want enough to write. So you want to get the excess off. And you'll see it enough to see if you are running out of liquid on your paper and need to kind of dip your writing utensil again. And so you write whatever you want to write. And then you will see it drying. So you have your written message. It will be lightly visible on the paper. And then you have to let it dry. You have to let it dry completely, okay? So what I've done is I performed the experiment before, and this is how it will look after it's dried, okay? Now, what you do to get your message visible is you take another writing utensil. Like I said, you can do Q-tips, small paintbrush, And you dip it in to the blueberry juice. And like I said, kind of drain it. You don't want a lot on it. Whoop. And then you just lightly brush and it will show up. And see, it'll only show up in the parts that I wrote. And you just lightly brush to make it visible. And you do that for the whole message. So this is what your finished product will look like after you put your solution on the entire message that you create, so it is visible to everyone. So you want to make sure that you have parental supervision when you're doing any of these experiments. Now here's your chance to write your invisible message to your family and friends. Go ahead. Now that you know some of the significance of those U-2 spy planes, let's make a couple of model paper airplanes ourselves. So we're going to make 3 different versions. One, a traditional paper airplane for distance, a modified paper airplane for air time, so it will stay in the air for a longer period of time. And then the third will be a modified paper airplane for speed, okay? All right, so let's get started. So in order to make your traditional paper airplane, you want to take a regular piece of computer paper, any color you want, and you're going to fold it in half vertically, and you'll have the line down the middle. Then you'll take the right corner and you will fold it over to the middle crease, and you will take the left corner and fold it to the middle crease, just like that. Right corner, left corner. Then you will once again fold the right corner to the middle crease and fold the left corner to the middle crease. So you have it folded in twice. Now, you're gonna fold it down the middle, and you already have a crease there, so it should be easy to fold. Then you're gonna make your wing. You're going to fold this bottom to the edge, back, behind, and you're going to do the same thing with the left corner. Fold it back behind to the corner. And you have your standard go the distance paper plane. All right, so the variation of your typical model paper airplane is this one is going to allow you to have an airplane that stays in the air longer. So what you're going to do is you're going to take another piece of typical computer paper, and looks like I have 2. And you are going to fold it in half vertically again. And then at the bottom, you're going to fold it up about 1 inch. So you're going to fold it up about 1 inch. And then you're going to keep folding for 6 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was my 6th one. Okay. And then you turn it over and you fold it back on itself, and make sure that it's lined up so that you have even wings. Then you want to fold about 1 inch from the center. And then turn it over and do the same thing. You fold about 1 inch from the center. And then what you want to do is the outside. You're going to fold about 1 inch outward. And you're going to do the same thing to that opposite side. And this is what you will have. The last variation I will show you is one that is going to have speed. And this one is a little bit more complicated than the first two. So, take your standard computer paper, and this time you're going to take the top right corner and you're going to fold it all the way to the left edge. So this is how it will look. And then you'll open it back up and you'll do the exact same to the left side. Then you will take the right corner again and you will fold it to that middle crease that you created. Open it and you're going to do the same thing. Crease, and then there we go. So now you're going to keep that creased. And then you're going to fold the piece of paper in half. And try to keep it even. All right. Now, this is the shape you'll have at this point. Now you want to take the top part and fold it down to the bottom. Now, you're going to take your right side and you're going to fold it in to that first quick crease right there. And then we're going to do it to the second side. And then you're going to fold it in one more time. First, we're going to flip this out because it's going to be easier that way. So we're going to flip this out to about 2 inches sticking from the top. Okay. And then you're going to fold that down to where that's tucked in. You're gonna fold those 2 inches down. And then you'll fold this in one more time. And you'll fold this in one more time. Now, you're gonna have to make your crease down the center. And you have your third paper airplane. Thank you again for joining us for 60s Science Cold War Technology. I hope that you enjoyed learning more about invisible ink and the U-2 spy planes. Join us next time when we will explore artificial intelligence. Please visit jfk.org for more information about other programs.